Welcome to Chapter 3 of Health Promotion and Disease Prevention. Now, I mentioned in the introduction video that this isn't a psychology course, but it's kind of not a psychology course. And some of the things we talk about in this chapter build for Chapter 4, which is incredibly important, but you'll see that in just, I don't know, maybe you watch it right after this. So Chapter 3 starts off with a lot of the early philosophers. A lot of this isn't that important, Confucius, things like that. They're basically early philosophers that start building into something important and start building what we consider the modern day scientific method. Now, health promotion and public health, really the science is actually built on clinical medicine and clinical trials, and that has kind of evolved into what we call public health today. So looking at, again, a lot of that stuff you don't need in chapter 3, but three concepts I do want to highlight. Positivism, which basically says that you need hard data from naturally occurring phenomena, which sounds pretty straightforward, but again, this is coming into light at the end of the Dark Ages. Science hasn't advanced in 1600 years, and you're getting these kind of early people like Comte and Bacon who are basically saying, yeah, we need to use hard data, naturally phenomena to build science. So this is where kind of modern science and scientific method start. So again, they're important for that reason. Now, I put on the bottom, if you're interested in philosophy and some of these things that were mentioned in the book, take a look at the book Sophie's World. It is a book about philosophy written as a novel. So it's a fun read. It highlights a lot of philosophy. It's really geared toward, I would say, an upper level teen audience, or even, again, young college. So kind of that, I would say, 16 to 20 bucket. So it's an easy read, and it's really interesting. It's not required, but if you ever want to know more about philosophy and not take a philosophy class, good book to check out. Now, again, a couple highlights of, it mentions 4 different types of psychology. It starts off with behaviorist psychology, B.F. Skinner, and basically reinforcement, classical and operant conditioning, those sort of things. The next one is cognitive philosophy. Now, again, very important in the book. It mentions that this is the basis for a lot of the health belief model and other models, how people make their decisions. That's what cognitive psychology is about. Humanistic psychology more is about how people are able to make decisions, and it talks about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Again, very important that you can't make upper level needs unless your basic needs are met first. So people first act to get food and housing before they can even think about, trying to be healthier, that they need their basic needs met first. And then last is social psychology, and again, how people interact with their environment and other people. And again, a key part of what we do here is not just how people make decisions, but how they make decisions in the context of their friends and the family and the world around them. Now, finally, there is a couple of concepts near the end of the chapter worth taking a look at. Social structure, basically how your social class influences your decisions and your paths through life and what's available to you. Again, the second one, how other people influence your behavior. Third one is social capital, which is about those relationships and networks you can leverage to make decisions. And social organization is basically talks about how labor is divided, or how basically those kind of roles come into play. So again, chapter 3, you're not going to need to take a lot out of it, just a couple of concepts, but it does really build for chapter 4, which is, again, very important. So looking at your assignments, first you have the job search. Obviously there's more on Blackboard with that, but that is go online, find 3 jobs, and explain why you'd be a good fit. There's more to it than that, but you can read it online. And then 3 stories. You'll understand that more when you go through chapter 4. It's directly related to 3 decision models that are laid out in chapter 4 that I talk about in the next video. And then on the discussion boards, week 3, I talk about highlighting a philosopher. So we said the first part of chapter 3, name checks, all of these great philosophers, from Foucault to Wittgenstein. And so if you want to do some more research on one and share it with everybody, just try not to use one that somebody else has used. So just do a real quick write-up about one of the philosophers, so somebody else can read it, and then comment on it. And then the week 4 one, again, really ties to chapter 4 about the three models that are laid out in Chapter 4 and which one you think is the best one or talks to you the most. Anyway, thanks for watching and good luck on your assignments.